All right, we're joined by our reporters. We have Silindelo Masikane and Heidi Giokos, who are both in Johannesburg, and Nqobile Madlala joins us from Pietermaritzburg. Let's start with Sli. So Sli, the 2023 Basic Education Lekgotla has kicked off today, where the recovery plan for the sector was laid bare earlier. What exactly did the department say?
Well, what we know is that what this particular Lekgotla is going to tackle are the issues that have arisen from the COVID-19 pandemic in terms of modernizing the sector, as well as bringing in some technology to, tackle some of what had arisen from the challenges of the lockdown restrictions. But also, of course, we know that the sector is facing many challenges around infrastructure, as well as the dropout rate. Something that the president, in fact, highlighted during his keynote address when he opened the 8th edition of the Basic Education Sector Lekgotla this morning. But of course, we also know that, like many other industries and sectors in the country, the rolling blackouts is one that also affects the basic education sector, where you have particular subjects like computer sciences, labs that unfortunately can't operate during those bouts of rolling blackouts during the day, during school hours. And we had an opportunity to speak to the presidency spokesperson with regards to when perhaps the president will be taking the nation into his confidence with regards to the plan to end the scourge of rolling blackouts in the country. Let's take a listen.
At this stage, I'm not able to give you timeframes as yet. The president has instructed the NECOM team to go back and be more focused on elements that can be implemented and have an immediate sort of impact. That is not to say we'll completely eradicate load shedding. So teams are hard at work, focusing on those areas that can be executed quite quickly. He is not satisfied with what has been given so far, notwithstanding the 6 months progress that NECOM has reported, which is acknowledged and applauded. But as we stand, the president wants to see more work being done and wants to see timelines being brought forward. And until such time, he has a level of satisfaction that there are stronger measures that he will announce. He's going to focus on driving the teams to deliver on this work.
All right, let's go to Heidi Giokos, who's in Megawatt Park in Sandton, where Parliament's Portfolio Committee on Public Enterprises, Energy and Communications are visiting Eskom. And Heidi, the understanding is that today they're hearing from different unions. What has come out of the meeting so far?
Yes, so today the specific focus is hearing from Labour, specifically NUMSA and Solidarity, to get a clearer understanding on what their challenges are on the ground. We do know that there is an energy crisis in this country, and we have been subjected to possibly the worst rolling blackouts in the last couple of months. We've also heard from Eskom board that we most likely will be subjected to stage 2 and 3 rolling blackouts, possibly for the next 2 years or so, until they are able to stabilize the grid and bring more megawatts onto the grid. But I think what's important here is you have portfolio committees and members of parliament really trying to understand the severity of the problem, trying to understand what managers, what engineers, what operators are facing on the ground. And I think the overall sentiment and message that's coming through from unions is that the problem is fixable and solvable. It's just about there being political will and understanding of what the actual problem is. We've been seeing stakeholders time and time again, Masego, trying to get to the bottom of this energy crisis and having these engagements. But at the end of the day, it's really coming with those solutions to try and bring in this emergency electricity that we do need. The overall sentiment is that we still need coal-fired power stations, and those that are still operating need to be maintained. But I think what's alarming is that we heard from the National Union of Mine Workers indicating that a lot of the managers and operators are being intimidated, they are not being treated fairly, yet they are on the ground working, trying to provide the electricity for South Africans, yet their working environment is not the most pleasant. I want us to listen to what one of the NUM members told members of Parliament.
One of the important factors within Eskom that is the main contributor, is that what is entrenched in our constitution as a freedom of speech doesn't exist in Eskom. Members from the lower level, they can't speak out from what they see as challenges because they will be fired or they will face disciplinary action. We would like to task honorable members to go and just interview few operators on the ground to say, what is really a problem? You'll get the truth.
All right, let's also move now to Nqobile Madlala, who is in Pietermaritzburg, where labor union Samatu, as well as COSATU, are marching over the shortage of staff in the medical sector. Nqobile, what are these doctors telling you their plight is? 1 to 3,000?
Well, Masego, they're saying that there's a shortage of staff in these public hospitals, and they're saying that they want government to start hiring them. We've spoken to COSATU, who have told us that they are sure that on the ground there's this shortage. They're saying that there's the employment of these doctors has shrunk over time, and they do know that there's a need for doctors. We've spoken to the youth also, who's saying that they are coming to support these doctors, because this is important. We know from the doctors themselves that they're saying that at this point they are expected to create employment for themselves, and they don't know how to do that because most of them have just recently served their time, and as a result, after coming from ComServe, they can't just create employment. It's a lot of money to start your own surgery and so on. So they're saying that they want government to acknowledge that the public does need assistance. They're saying they want government to acknowledge the communities do need their assistance, and so they're going to deliver a memorandum saying that they want government to acknowledge them, to employ them, and get more people in the system. Also, those that are in the system are just saying that it's very difficult. They're suffering from burnout and so on, and so they want government to basically step in. But let's listen in.
We are here as the Young Communist League in Moses Mabhida province in KwaZulu-Natal to stand in solidarity with the unemployed doctors. These are the members that are part of the working class in our province, and we are saying that all the issues that they have put on their memorandum that talks to issues of being unemployed, and those who are employed are talking about terrible conditions of service. So those are the issues to us that are fundamentally important, and we are saying that we need to work to come close to them and understand better what are the issues, and then rally behind them in support of them being addressed by our Department of Health and by government as a whole. So that's why we are here.
Right, that was your All Angles Lunchtime update on eNCA with reporters Nqobile Madlala, Heidi Giokos and Silindelo Masikane.